by Slimani.
What a goal from George Bulldog! Finished by Ollie
What's happening, Blades? Welcome back to the Blades Ramble. We're here again. I've never been on so many times in a week, so many times live. It's just, it's mad, isn't it, what's going on at the minute? So, yeah, we're back again. More stuff happening. Things happening all the time at United at the minute. So, how things can change in 24 hours there. I mean, we were here. Maybe, I don't think it was yesterday. It might be the day before. I can't remember, to be honest. They're all blended into one at a minute. But we were here moaning about Illiman, and now we're going to get over it. And we'd just about come round to the fact that we'd lost our best, probably, in my eyes, our best ever player. And now the exciting bit starts. How do we spend the money? How do we replace him? We already had a budget in place. I've had people ask, oh, well, is the Illiman money now our budget? So, that was it. We didn't have any money to spend beforehand, but now we can a little bit. So as Trusty come out of the Illiman fund and stuff like that, no. We've had money to spend, and now the Illiman money's here on top. We've now got a healthy budget. I'm not going to go into exact figures as to how much that is, even though I've been pressed for that. I don't think that helps anybody. We talked about whether you agree or not with us having these sort of live scenarios and situations and channels, really, that talk about this sort of thing. And obviously, it's one of my main things that I talk about targets and try and find out who we're in for and what we're going to be doing. But one thing I don't ever want to do is jeopardize something that's potentially going to happen. So the names I'm going to talk to you about today are the names that are already out there and the names that other people have already circulated. So I'm not breaking the news. I am filling in the gaps, if you like. Before we do that, I know some of you are looking at my lovely new Ramble merch. If you want to go to Ramble merch on bladesramble.com, then that's absolutely up to you. I do want to say a massive thank you, firstly to our Ramblers, which I always want to make time to thank them because their contributions really help this channel grow. I've had one particular person, and they know who they are. They've asked not to be named, but they've given a very generous donation to the channel just today, in fact. So thank you very much to that person. I know we spoke earlier, but I'm very, very grateful. Everything we get now, I know I've been funny with merch, did you say? Just see if I can get any more out of my Blade Ramble bag. See if there's anything else that we need to look at. Let's have a look. Oh, is this from bladesramble.com? I think it is actually, yeah, bladesramble.com. And then the one that we've all been waiting for, Just Stop Ollie Mac. So these are selling really well, to be fair. So thank you for everybody that's contributed. But that's me done plugging anyway. So cheers. Anyway. Right, so that's that done. I make myself laugh with these sort of things. Apologies, but yeah. Anyway, you want to contribute to the channel, it's always appreciated. But listen, just by subscribing, you're helping me out. So if you're not subscribed, please do. It's very much appreciated. I know what we're here for, and we're going to get to that. But first, Trusty, Austin Trusty is here. 24-year-old left centre back solves the left centre back problem that we've been trying to figure out for. Well, since Jock got injured originally, so at least 2-3 years. I'm really pleased with this one. For those of us that have had a chance to hear his interview, and I've sent a few links out as well to see if you can hear him speak on Troy Deeney's podcast and stuff like that. And there's an Arsenal one that I think Nick shared originally, where he's on training camp this close season with Arsenal in USA. He just speaks really well, really intelligent, grounded, but very focused on his job. He's come a long way in a short time. I think he's a really good purchase for us. 4-year deal. I'd like to think we've got our cheeky little option of one in there as well. 5 million quid, I think, is a bargain. I think it fits exactly what profile we're going for. Getting him at a good value, getting him at a very good age, and obviously potential to get even better. He was Birmingham's player of the season last season. I think that's our back three set now. I know we're a little bit undercooked in other positions. I think 4 of our 5 of our back five are done. George, Anel, Egan, and Trusty. I'm really happy with that. Really happy. Flecky's out, unfortunately. For those of you that haven't seen, Alan Nixon reported today that Fleck's broken his leg. Now, that obviously sounds like a huge headline. Excuse me, but it can be, you know, a slight fracture or whatever it means. It's more of a headline statement, isn't it? It could be out 6 weeks, 8 weeks. It could be out for season. We don't know. Until Eki updates us on that, we're not going to be sure, are we? So, yeah, I thought that'll be interesting, though, to see whether we push the button on a new signing to come in to replace Fleck, depending on how long he's going to be out. So that's probably the silver lining for us. I tweeted out earlier that, look, we never, ever want, particularly our legendary players, to suffer any sort of injury or bad luck in that way. But I'm still of the opinion that I think you were very lucky to get a contract offer. And if we are going to replace him now, we're probably going to be stronger for it. And that's nothing against him, and I wish him all the best. But I think the silver lining is we may well get a decent player in to replace. But that'll depend on the budget. And, you know, there's talk of some players coming in, which we're going to get to after I get to your comments. Just to say hello to everybody. Brody, evening, Brody, pal. Do you still think we need a left back? Yes, but we won't go for one. And it's obvious why we won't go for one, because we've got 2 fit left wing backs in Larouci and Lowe. And it looks like now that'll be Reese's position when he's back up and running. But he's about 2 months off, I think, is Reese at the moment. So it'll be between them two, unfortunately. And I say unfortunately, that's very harsh, but it's my honest opinion that I think that's going to be a weakness in our team. But Trusty then gives us, you know, a lot more solidity at the back. Would Tuba want to move? We'll get to Tuba, pal, don't you worry. If we get Tuba, would you still? I always want Cameron Archer. I will not budge from that. Maybe it's a tactic. Maybe we get Tuba in so we can get Archer. What do you reckon? I'm up for that. Just watch the training videos, and Brewster and Benny look good. I thought the same. Thought Brewster, obviously, Benny's looked okay, good. Yeah, no problem. I think we knew what to expect from him. It was more interesting to me to see Brewster looking really sharp. So, yeah, I liked that a lot. Looks like a great piece of business. Only needed a keeper, left back, 2 midfielders, and a couple of forwards. It'd be right. Agreed, Robert. Is Alex Crook Martin Samuel's love child? Potentially. Yeah, I can see the resemblance. Yeah, I can. Alex Crook from Talk Sports already, for those that don't know, has said that there is absolutely zero chance of Sheffield United staying up this season. Sorry, Kev, I don't know what's happened with timings there. It were always down for 7:30, and it were telling me to come live at this time, so don't know what's gone off there. Is Akpom the Ndiaye replacement, which they lined up? Okay, so excuse me. Let's get straight into this, because, you know, I'm not in the habit of delaying things for delaying things' sake. So, Cuba Akpom, you may recall, and I've had a couple of messages about it recently, well, today, since the news broke. I've been saying for quite some time that if we replace Ndiaye with this player that I've heard, then I think it'll split the fan base. And this is it. This is Tuba, and I think that's, I don't know whether you think that's fair to say that some will want him, some won't. The danger with Tuba Akpom is that he's a one-season wonder, because he's never done it prior to last season. However, when you balance it out, last season he was phenomenal. Top scorer in championship. What did he get? 20, 27, 28, 29 goals. Wore the number 29, which I think it was Kipper that pointed that out to me earlier. So is that an omen? Completely different style of player to Illiman. And you'd think of him, because I think of him as fairly like a big target man type in terms of how he looks and carries himself. But he's been playing in that 10-second striker role, and that's where he flourished under Carrick. So you could argue that it's a similar position in the team. He plays nothing like Illiman, but who does? But you could argue it's a similar position. Now, when I heard that name some time ago, that we'd spoken to him very briefly, and we'd sort of weighing up our options, I can see I was a little bit, I'm not sure about this one because, but he has looked very good. 2 games he played against us, I thought he looked great. And it was just a fantastic season for him last year, weren't it? So he's got a year left to run. The talk is 8 to 10 million that I've seen circulated, and obviously it's come from Alan Nixon. This isn't something that Darren, myself, Nick, and Hal have released. This is where it's come from. So yeah, the short answer is there are legs to it. We are talking to him, but there's some stuff still to do. There's also a link. It's all intertwined, you see. There's also a link to Malik Tillman, who's at Bayern Munich. He was on loan at Rangers last year. 21-year-old, attacking midfielder, but like a number 10, but also a bit of a shadow striker, if you like. So can play as a forward. He, to me, would be Illiman's direct replacement. And it was Danny Hall that circulated this, I believe. I might be wrong. No, I think Danny was Sousa, weren't he? So anyway, I've seen it circulated online anyway, which is why I'm openly talking about it. I like the look of Tillman. I don't know him awfully well. He's American, so obviously Trusty can play a little bit of a part in this potentially. There's other clubs said to be sniffing around Tillman. I think he's much more in the mould of Illiman. We're aware that he's available now. So there are discussions ongoing, but there's a lot of work still to do on that. So don't get your hopes up too much on Tillman, but I'm just coming on and being honest in terms of where we are in the process, really. We won't get both of these targets if Jebo re-signs. If Jebo signs his contract, which he's stalling on at the minute, or he's certainly thinking, I'm not saying stalling makes out like he's umming and ahhing. He's had a contract offer from us, which is very good. And if he doesn't sign it, chances are he'll be sold because we have to look after the. And when I think of it in that context, if I don't think of Chuba as a direct Illiman replacement, and I think actually he's coming in to replace Jebo, I like it a lot more. If we get Tillman and Akpom and lose Jebo with a good sell on, even though Akpom's 27, Tillman's 21, I think that's a good deal for us. I genuinely think so. And listen, that's my opinion, and I want to hear yours. So let me know what you're thinking. I'm going to jump back into some comments before we mention a couple of others. Excuse me. How do you get in the WhatsApp group, Jimmy? Love the content, pal. Thank you, Matt. It was suggested on the last stream that for the Ramblers, those that contribute to the channel, pay $2.99 a month, get early access and loads of other perks. They get Ramblers only streams now, even though first one were a bit of a bust. But we also, I've put my mobile number on there's like a private page. We're all in a WhatsApp group, or half of us are in a WhatsApp group. Those that want to, for those, it's not mandatory by any means. You can join or not, but it's for Ramblers, mate, for members that join. Evening, Jimmy. Life's pretty good at the moment. What a difference a couple of days makes, pal. It's mad. Defo need another left wing back. Not impressed with the 2 we've got. I agree. Neither am I. Nice to see Benny, but we won't get him. Sorry, Kipper. As I've just said, we won't get him for reasons we've talked about. Nice to see Benny settling in, and the American looks full of confidence. I think they'll both be good additions. I do too, David. I do, mate. Stuart says Larouchi's something to prove. Hope he can deliver. Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm not sold on him, if I'm honest. Evening, Rich. Oh, Akpom's a joke. You see, there'll always be this side of things, and I understand that, Rich. Tillman, yes, please. Hot dang. Jimmy Boy, let's ramble again, bro. USA. Yeah, Trusty. Top signing. Hi, Jimmy. Do you think it'll be more quantity than quality with transfers with the squad being so thin at the minute? No, I don't think it will, Stu. And I'll tell you why. Because the names that we're linked with are of sound quality. Listen, if Illiman had stayed, obviously we'd have had an absolutely standout player that's without a doubt, he's going to be world class in my opinion. But we wouldn't have had the extra funds to up the quality in every area that we need. So it may well have been quantity over quality or relying on more loans than we'd like to and things of that nature. Now we've got more cash in, we can spread that amongst the team a little bit more. So I actually think, I'm not saying it's good that Illiman's gone, but one of the silver linings of him going is that we've got more cash to up the quality, essentially, as we need the numbers. You'll see from names we're linked with. And granted, I don't know a lot of the foreign market these days, and I will have to scrub up on that because the position I've put myself in now. But they are of a good caliber, and you can see obviously by people's comments we're excited by where we're going as a club. Again, thankfully. Oh, say can you? I'm not going to sing for you, Ben, but yeah, you go for it, pal. Evening, Kev. Great channel, thank you, pal. What about signing Lyndon Dykes from QPR as cover for McBurney? No, thank you. I'm not a fan. Not a fan. Warnock likes him. He might end up at Rotherham. No, he's not at Rotherham, is he? At Huddersfield. Evening, Mark. Evening, Sean. One of our new Ramblers, pal. Good evening. Ray Page. Evening, pal. Oh, nice shirt. Thank you. Thank you, Samuel. BladesRamble.com. Ramble merch. Hiya, Pete. Good evening, Toby. Evening, Ramblers from Sportsman. Evening, Kristen. Evening, Jimmy Lad. Good evening. Great flipping channel. Top man. Thank you, my friend. Try not to swear, though, please. We're trying to get more women and children involved, and I'd rather not. Need to get all over Illy and get behind the lads now. Need to all get over. Yeah, sorry. Need to get over Illy. Yeah, I think we're getting there, to be honest. These are helping. I don't know if it's working for any of you, but it's certainly helping me. I find it quite cathartic. Jimmy getting a big cap tip by Darren. Right. Don't know what that's about, but if Darren said something nice, I appreciate it. It's no secret that myself, Darren, Nick, all support each other and, want each other to do well. So, hi, Jimmy. Great news with Trusty. Akpom question. Hopefully that's answered your question a little bit, Wayne. Possibly out injured after one game. That's eliminating it. Yeah, I saw he went down injured. Now, I saw some laughing. I'm not on that boat, to be honest. He did well for us. I want him to do well. And we're obviously looking to pick up and carry on as a club, aren't we? So I'm happy with where we are. But I get why some would be bitter. Evening, Whale. Great channel. Really enjoyed it. Thank you, pal. Appreciate it. We just love talking about them, don't we? Michael Fisher says these new signings are unproven at Prem level, but do look exciting and could prove brilliant. That's where we are in it, Michael, to be fair. That's where we are as a club at the moment. We're not going to pay the big prices. It's a bit of a gamble for us. We've not really gone down this road before. But we've gone with the expensive domestic players that we thought could do a job. Brewster, McBurney. It's one of them, isn't it? It's not always, obviously McBurney's still here and done a job for us, to be fair, over time, but 20 million's a big fee. Hey up, Kyle, one of our members, Ramblers. I have to keep it. I love calling you the Ramblers, but I have to keep reminding people that aren't aware that it's actually being a member that gets you to become a Rambler, if you like. So Danny says, I hope that Trusty ain't rusty and goes into the starting lineup. Looks a presence. His size. Also heard we're going for Akpom for 8 million. If we can get him for that, would be a good deal. Yeah, I agree, Danny. Who's next? I don't know, but I do like the new approach the club is having. I do too. I think a lot more of us are becoming more optimistic with the approach now. Trusty's really sort of solidified that in terms of, it's a solid sign. I haven't seen anybody that thinks it's not a good deal. If you look at all the Birmingham fan comments, they are gutted that they've lost him and wishing him all the best and all that sort of thing. So I think it's only good signs. In fact, just a plug for Panchero, Roy's View. For those of you that are familiar with Roy's View he's done a Birmingham fan's view on Trusty. I'll see if I can get it somewhere and link it. But if Roy's about in the chat, he can link it himself or somebody can do that for him because it's a good read. Evening, Neil and the Ramblers. Good evening, Miss Moll Poles. Hubby loves your T-shirt. Well, he knows where to go. BladesRamble.com. Thank you. Yeah, it's I'm only messing. I don't make, to be fair, just to touch on that, I don't make hardly anything on these. I'm not selling them for profit. I think what what it best does for us is gets the word out there about the channel. That would be a strategy, really. If you see a load of people with, Blades Ramble or Ramble On or whatever it might be, what's that all about? And then it's a conversation piece, isn't it? Just get us seeing, get us bigger and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's the point, really. Evening bids. Seems like we're not missing much. You keeping us informed. Keep on rambling. Thank you, pal. I'm not sure my missus is too happy about me taking up kitchen every night, but I did wait till kids went to bed tonight. On a scale of 5, how likely are each of these 3 players coming to the lane? Which 3 are you on about, Fairfield? And I'll give you them. The 3 I've talked about. I've talked about 3. Yeah, I've talked about 3, but one would obviously Jebbo, because it'll be dependent on Jebbo. For the 2 I've talked about, I would say 3 on Tillman, maybe 2 or 3. It's like a 50-50. And I would probably say 3 to 4 on Tuba. None of them near a 5. Justin, top man, welcome to the Ramblers Club. Thank you very much, pal. I've obviously messed about tonight with showing you some new merch and stuff. But now, from this point, nothing. Obviously, and it's all to promote the channel. That's all it is. It's not because I just love the gear and I'm going to be wearing it. I'm treating myself. It's to promote the channel. But everything now is going towards either converting that or getting something where we can have a proper setup and like go really professional with things. That's the long-term aim. Obviously, then it keeps the lights on, it keeps the subscriptions going, it allows us to upgrade our equipment and stuff. But the long-term aim is to become a little bit more professional than being sat at my kitchen table. Even though I love the setup, it's just not always practical. Party on, Foz. T-Mac Pom. Merch looking mint, pal. Thanks, Ben. Cheers, mate. I'm not going to bang on about that anymore because talked about it enough. And we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the incomings. Evening, Ricky. Where do you see R&D fitting in this season? I thought, Kyle, he would make a brilliant left centre-back, and I still do. And if he'd have been our long-term plan, then I'd have been all for it. And I think there's a few of us that feel that way. But there's only one position for Reece in this team, and it's left wing-back. He's going to be our left wing back when fit. Bloody hope so, anyway. As long as any money brought in is reinvested in the squad, that's all we can ask for. I think it's obvious that that's what's happening into here now. I think I put a smarmy tweet back to Annie's song, and I get on really well with him. So we do go back and forth a little bit on different opinions, because he's of the belief that no information should be released other than by the club or through official channels, and that's fine. I respect everybody's opinion, and we do get on great. But he just put out something like, "Oh, Pom, this would be a brilliant signing." Well, 2 days ago, you were saying we're a club with no ambition and that we're not going to do anything and Prince will swallow up all money. Well, we've got to trust this management team that they'll do the right thing. I don't think the owner has let us down in any particular. If you look at the results of the club, I don't. I'm all for criticising people when it's necessary, but I think we're okay at the minute, and I think now it's starting to prove that we're doing okay. How much is the bag? I rate want it. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, pal, but there'll be a link down below. I think it's quite cheap, actually. I think it's about a tenner, but I can't remember, in all honesty. Mark says, wait till he's had his phone call to Ramsdale tonight see if he turns up. I saw that. Yeah, Austin Trusty said on SUTV interview, we were going to speak to Ramsdale. In fact, reporter suggested it, and they were like, oh, yeah, I'm going to speak to him tonight to see what club. Ramsdale, who went on strike and refused to play for us because we wouldn't let him talk to Arsenal, or we wouldn't accept a bid from Arsenal initially, wouldn't give him a pay rise. I just don't ring him. Don't ring him, Austin. If you're watching, you'll soon be a Rambler if you're not already. Don't ring him. Ring us. Koulibaly's time to shine. Yeah. Koulibaly is one I forget about all the time. And I've no excuse for it. I know he's there. Nobody's told me any different. It's just because he's been so out of the loop with injuries, and obviously weren't here for some time been at Beershot. But yeah, maybe I'm not convinced on Koulibaly yet. But we haven't seen enough of him, have we? Is Trusty going to be starting over Robinson next season? 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. I don't think Robbo will be very happy about it, but He had to know there were competition coming. Now we've solved our left centre-back problem, which can't be understated, by the way. It's been our weak link for 2.5 years, 3 years. And even though we've offered Jack Robinson a new 2-year deal, which he accepted, can't see him getting much game time, only for possible cup games, etc. But I'm excited with what we're doing. I agree, Connor. I think Trusty's our new number 5, AT5, and he will be our starting left centre-back. Robinson's a backup option. But, you know, it's better than him being a starter, isn't it? I think we've leveled up. We've leveled up. There's levels to this. Sousa, a striker, and Rotherham keeper, and I'll be a happy blade. Keep up the good work, mate. Thank you, pal. I don't know about Rotherham keeper. I don't think he's on the radar. Well, we'll be aware of him, obviously, but keeper's not a priority area. In serious, we need middle of the park and up top. Trusty's an absolute gem signing in mine too, John. Mine too, mate. Trusty left centre-back and R&D at left wing-back. We're looking good. Great merch, Jimmy. Thank you, pal. Thank you. Got to go for that Tillman. He reminds me of MGW breakout season. Only going to get better. And he's a bargain at the minute. And this is the danger, isn't it? Because he is a bargain. And the more people become aware of his availability, and the more negotiations drag on, the less likely it is that he comes to Sheffield United. So this is what we're talking about with names being leaked. We didn't leak any of these names. It was on YouTube, it was on Twitter. These were leaked by other sources. And I'm not blaming those sources. They're doing the job. Danny Hall, Nath Emmingham, Alan Nixon, whoever it might be. I'm not criticising them at all, but it does make things more difficult. I'm sure it can only do that. But other side of the coin is it's keeping us informed, isn't it? It's that we want to hear about it. We're excited now because we get to talk about Tillman potentially being a blade. It's really, it's great. Are we in for a keeper, says Michael? No, we're not at the minute. There is a keeper that we're having a look at, but it's not a priority position. And obviously we've got more money now from the Illiman sale, and that will all be put back into the squad. But we've also, like we talked about earlier, up to the quality level. So with the quality level going up, the spend goes up. So that might not leave enough in the pot for a keeper. But you never know. You never know. Take your time coming back, Flecky. Shouldn't rush an injury, Frank. Benny got a rate shot on him. Yeah, he looked good. Didn't he? In training videos. Big season from Rian. If you don't drop sick note. Listen, I was watching that. I know I've already touched on it really, but I think it could click for Bruce this year, and that's very optimistic of me. But there's a player in there. Do not give up on RB7. Do not give up on Rian Brewster. Yes, I've not. 4-year deal may mean he isn't on huge money. Be risky tying him down to a huge 4-year deal in case the worst happens. He's on a very reasonable contract. One that he'll be very happy with, but we're also very happy with. And I'd be amazed if we haven't got a cheeky +1 in there as well. He'll have the relegation decrease clause as well, I'm sure. So, great. Trusty coming in could mean Robbo playing left wing back. He has done it before. Do you know that? I'd not thought about it, Robin, but that could happen. I think it's a bit of a slap in the face to Max Lowe. If Robbo were a very good player and he were just unlucky because a better player in Trusty's coming in, then I could see it. But I don't think Robbo's that much better in his position than Max Lowe is. So we'll see. It's an option, though, and he has played there before. You're right. All right, buddy. Hope all is well. It is. Thank you, Chris, my old pal. It is. I hope all's well with you. Thank you for becoming a Rambler. I know you've only joined recently. Much appreciated. Which hair products are you being sponsored by, Jimmy? Wash and Go. Whatever. I don't put any products in my hair, and it's whatever shampoo wife buys. That I don't even know, to be honest. So, strange question. Weren't expecting it, but you know, I'm always open to offers of sponsorship for decent products. Thanks for letting me plug that. Lee says defence for me is done recruitment-wise. I agree. The focus now has to be midfield. We're so light in there at the minute. I also would prefer Archer over Akpom. So would I. If we go for a striker, fits the profile. It does. Archer's not available, and he's going to be it is going to be costing 2 or even 3 times what Tuba's going to cost us. But I would prefer Archer, no doubt about it. And that's no secret to anybody. But yeah, it's Chuba. I don't think we can complain at Chuba for 8 mil. We've seen that gear on Wakey Market. Behave yourself. Behave yourself. If we get Akpom, we're still able to afford the other 5 players. Absolutely, we are. Yeah, yeah. It's all built into budget. You've got to think we've got 2 domestic loans to come, and there is spend that comes with that. Obviously, not just a wage, but there's usually a loan fee. And there's free agents that we're talking to, Maitland Niles. There's others in consideration. Not saying we'll definitely get those, but there are other things in the irons in the fire, if you like. Soon to be 28, other than last season, never hit double figures. Must be another cheaper 1 in 5 strikers overseas. I see what you're saying. Look at how many overseas players do you want to gamble on, though? Because you never know how it's going to go, do you? So I get what you're saying. And I do. I understand that. And I've been back and forth on this myself. This is why I've been coming on all cloak and dagger and saying this Illiman replacement, it's going to split opinion and I'm not quite sure about it. Well, now we know it's not necessarily a straight Illiman replacement, is it? Tillman and Akpom would be coming in for Illiman and Jebo. So now it's one of Tillman or Akpom coming in for Illiman. And then if Jebo goes, we'll try and get the other one. So I don't think you can go far wrong, to be honest. Hyder, I'll take a punt on Akpom, especially if it's 8 million like reported. Agreed. You get him on a 3-year contract till he's 30, 31. I think we're laughing, aren't we? 3+1 maybe. Illy got injured first game. Oh my. Come on. We're better than that. Bruce, are we? We might not be. Brewster needs to man up and get rid of his sick note. Yeah, and if we get Akpom for a season, that's one more than Brewster's done. Yeah. Evening, Tom. Finally caught you live. Welcome, pal. You're more than welcome. Andrew says, evening, Jimmy. Have we heard if we're going for a goalkeeper? I think Wes is not up to the Premier. Plus, do you think Bash will get a game this season? I don't. I don't think Bash will get a game if Anel stays fit. I think he'll probably play in the cup games, but the league is obviously going to be our main priority, and I don't see him playing. He'll certainly won't be picked over Anel. Not if Anel's fit. Akpom is the ready-made article, and could be the difference between going down and staying up. If he's fit, it's a no-brainer for 8 million. Agreed. I won't mind Akpom, but I think there's better strikers. There are, Chris. There are, but top scorer in Championship last year by a distance. Full of confidence. For 8 million quid. And listen, 8 million quid's a lot of money to Sheffield United. But top scorer in league below, I think it's certainly worth a punt, isn't it? There's 2 Greek lads in the Eredivisie. One for Utrecht, I never know how to say that name, and Alkmaar, and they're valued around 9 million and 14 million euros, respectively. I don't know enough about Eredivisie, pal. Don't know enough about it. Matt says, can never replace Ndiaye directly, but hopefully one of them has a positive effect on the team. Absolutely right. I think it's 8 million. I think for 8 million it's worth a punt, says Ricky. Me too. If Akpom is the safety striker, meaning we have guaranteed goals. Oh, it's the safety striker, meaning we have guaranteed goals, and the youngster's more of a free hit purchase. Maybe. If we had offers for Jebo, then people are sniffing around Jebo all the time. He's in last year of his deal. He's got offers on the table pretty much. We haven't had a firm bid for him, but people are sniffing around him. Kyle says take both. We'll only take both if Jebo goes. Take the risk on Asula. He looks better in my opinion. He does, I think, at the moment. Anyone in the right mind can see Akpom and Tillman with a good sell-on for Jebo is a great deal for us. I agree, Mark. That's the one. That's what tipped me into thinking, yeah, we've got to do this. When I thought of Akpom alone as an Illiman replacement, I weren't too sure. But when you look at options we've got up top now, that's the deal, innit? Sell Jebo. No worries, Matt. The alley plays. What positions are we needing now? Well, it's your forum to tell me as well, isn't it? So I would say we still need big reinforcements in centre midfield. And and we need a striker, at least one striker, if not two. But that sort of nicely brings me on to Sousa, who we've also been linked with. This was Danny Hall, weren't it, that released about Sousa? So Sousa, we like him. We're talking to him. He's part of the City group because he plays for one of their clubs. And we know that they don't like loan to buys. So they want a permanent deal. We're happy to meet that, but he's struggling with this relegation wage decrease, which is understandable because he's a quality player. He'd be our marquee signing. But if we can't get a resolution there, we may need to move on from Vinny Sousa, which ain't great news, but we've got to be realistic with us as a squad and what we need. And listen, this name only came out 2-3 days ago, and we're all buzzing about it now. So what we don't want is you to hear that, oh no, we might have to move on from him. That's devastating. This club's rubbish, and we're never going to get... Because tomorrow there'll probably be a new name that you think, oh, actually, well, if we get him, then he's better than Sousa or whatever. I'm not saying we're going to do that. And we've not moved on yet. We're still hopeful that we can come to some sort of resolution on Sousa. But it's a big sticking point, this. So, and we've got to look after the club first and foremost. We can't have a player on just a ballpark figure, let's say, on 50 grand a week, then coming down to Championship with us and us being committed to paying him 50 grand every week. Even though we've got parachute payments, and some would argue, take the hit and, do that. But this is potentially the marquee signing that we're talking about here. And when I say marquee, it's not like a household name and we're going to build a team around him, but it's the one that Hecky wants the most. It's the one we will be spending the most money on. So more than Akpom, so watch this space. It's not done yet and it's not over yet, but it's certainly not a done deal. So talks are continuing with Vinny Sousa. The other thing I would say, we have identified one of our domestic loans. I know people are talking about Tommy Doyle and McAtee. We can only get one lad from Man City, remember, and there's other lads at Man City that we like as well, not just those two. The lad we like, you'll be familiar with, I'm sure, attacking, left-footed attacking player. I've been asked not to reveal the name, so I'm not gonna. You may have heard us linked with him and similar names before, so I'm not going to confirm or deny if people start asking me. But yeah, things are moving all the time. But if that don't work, we'll move on, and another player might come into the mix. And even after we've got all these targets, Sousa, if the dream window being Sousa, our domestic loan main target, Akpom, if Jebo goes, Tillman, if we get those players in, we've still got another domestic loan and any free agents that we need. We lost Fleck now, so do we need another midfielder? Things are happening. People that, the very few and the minority that were saying, well, that's it now, we're down. We're absolutely gone. Even today, I'm seeing people think, oh, I'm actually feeling positive again about the season. You should. We're not just here to make up the numbers. And don't get me wrong, selling your best player 2 weeks before the season puts you massively on the back foot, and we will be favourites to go down for a reason. But we know what this team can do. And I don't just mean in terms of, I'm not saying with the 17th most quality squad or 15th or 10th or whatever. We might be in the bottom 3 in terms of overall quality, but we know as a team and as a fan base, we demand that players put everything in for that shirt, and they won't get away with doing anything less. I think Jack Robinson's improvement last season is a prime example of fans that backed him and went with him. He became a bit of a cult figure. I remember him nearly scrapping with someone on John Street because they were saying something to him, halfway through last season, and he'd never looked back, really. He became a really important player for us, although I won't want him starting in Premier League. So that's where we are. And that's me done for my notes. So I've no more news to tell you, but I'm happy to talk about it, everything I've just said as well. So let's go back to it. I think Tillman would be better than Akpom because of a younger... Yeah, he's the better signing for me. Miss Moles, I agree with that. Would have liked to have seen Ryan Manning at left back instead of Larouci. as I'm not convinced by him at all. Just seems like another Bogle. Well, I could pick that apart, to be honest, because, and I don't, this isn't a dig looks. I'm going to go with looks. I would have loved to have seen Ryan Manning, as you know. I was banging on about him, similar to Archer levels at one stage. Free transfer, thought it were a no-brainer. Get him in, because if worst happens, we go down. We know he's a proven great championship player. But Hecky, who we all trust, that he's absolutely earned everybody's trust, chose Larouci instead of Manning. I don't see that yet, personally, but he thinks Larouci's got a much higher ceiling. He's a French under-21 international. He's just turned 22, so he won't be involved in them anymore. But and there's a big chance he switches nationality to Algeria, from what I'm hearing. So he may well become a full international again. But it was Ecky's choice to go with Larouci, and we trust him, don't we? So we back the manager who's got a lot more right than he's got wrong. And in terms of another Bogle, I like Bogle. Listen, Bogle's been hot and cold in his form, but when Bogle's on form, there's not many better than him. You know, George struggled to get back in team when Bogle were on form. So I know what you're saying, and I get your reasoning, but I'm not 100% in agreement. Jimmy, I just want to thank you for your editing and all the time you're putting behind the scenes, and a link to Hecky, Deeney, Trusty interviews on the forum. Thanks. No problem, Craig. Thank you for that, mate. It's a labour of love. I say that quite a lot, but it's true. I don't do it. It's not work, is it? We love talking about United. If it's right, Liverpool are sniffing around Jebo, and the club don't stand much chance of keeping him, really. Listen, loads of big clubs, Chris, are sniffing around him. Juventus were mentioned at one stage. He's seen as a youngster with a lot of potential, which a lot of Unitedites don't seem to see. And I don't always, but top European clubs do tend to. So there's clearly something there. But who would have more impact this season in terms of what's most important to the club, Jebo or Chuba Akpom? And as much as Chuba Akpom may well run the risk of being a one-season wonder, you'd be more confident with Chuba making an impact in the Prem than you would Jebo, or I certainly would. Need an out-and-out pacey striker to link up with Benny. If that happens, we'll definitely stop up. Listen, I agree with that. Tillman would be a great option. Ryan Brewster is another great option. Don't write off Ryan Brewster. Will says, Solo looks welcome, Will. I had a chance to speak to you about Valley Blade, a new Rambler as well. Thank you so much. It really helps the channel. And as I say, full focus is on chucking everything we can to get this channel bigger and better. And we'll do what we can. Thank you, pal. It's appreciated. Solo looks more threatening than Jebo. In your opinion, is there any way we could accommodate Bogle into the midfield? It's been mentioned before this, with a slight change of formation with solid George at right wing back. I'm not sure, to be honest. I think we could if we were desperate, but I'm not saying he wouldn't do a decent job, but I think we go for, at this level, you go for orthodox players in positions. But that's not to say he couldn't do a job there. You look at players like Trent, and obviously Bogle's not the same level at all as Trent, but they're adaptable, aren't they, as players, particularly offensive wing backs and things like that. But yeah, it's one to consider, but maybe trial it in a cup game or something like that we're not all in for. In pre-season, a lot of Premier League teams all played each other. Do you reckon we missed a trick in not playing this mini tournament to get a feel for where we are? Maybe not. I don't try not to put too much emphasis into pre-season, to be honest. I think it's all about fitness, but so I agree that some like to watch it. Love what you do, Jimmy. Best Blades content out there. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate that, mate. Do you think we'll manage to hang on to Sander? I'm not sure, Dean. I'm not sure. It's quiet at the minute around Sander. For those of you that missed live stream the other day, because I've done 3,000, I think, in last week alone. But I think there's a chance Sander goes. But we've offered him a contract. We've offered him a very good contract. And it's up to him now as to whether he accepts or not. He's not been interested previously. And I think he's got off a little lightly because he's been under the shadow of what's going to happen with Illiman. Well, I think Sander will come to the fore a little bit now, and there might be a little bit more pressure on him from fans as well. Because, we don't want him walking out for nothing, do we? Howdy, Ian. Evening, Susan. No to Lyndon Dykes. Completely agree. Listen, everybody's got an opinion and they're entitled to it. have a look at Akor Adams at Lillestrøm. 15 in 15 plus 2 assists so far this year, priced at, well, fair dues. How old is he? 45 million euros. It's another Benny, isn't it, really, that? Evening, pal. Still not 100% on the colour of the fence. Sorry, pal. Listen, I love it because my wife did it. I think it's the best colour in the world ever for a fence. Who would your ideal striker replacement be for Illiman? Are you new? Are you new here? Looks because Illiman and Die replacement for Illiman and Die. Illiman and Die replacement for me would be Cameron Archer. Could put that on repeat, to be honest. The amount I talk about him. Illiman went for 20 million. Apparently, it's undisclosed, pal. It's undisclosed. It was a very good fee for the situation we were in. It's not his full value, which we can't get, but it's a very good fee, very achievable add-ons, and 20% sell-on. I don't think we could have got much better. I think we've done really well out of the deal, to be honest. Souza, we've talked about him, Matthew. Now, obviously, it's fair game if you want to have a chat about him now. Looking like Souza might be going backwards, leaking his name by local press. Seems to have attracted other clubs. Don't know what Sabs would have to say about that. Awkward. A bit awkward. Gary, thank you, my friend. Much appreciated. I will not let you down. You will now have access to Ramblers only content. We've got a WhatsApp group now where people, it was designed for me to be able to let those people know, or certain Ramblers know, when I were going live so they didn't miss me, which is absolutely fine. I'm finding already that some of you are just pilfering me for news in the WhatsApp group. So, I've got to save some for content, and I really, let's be right. But no, that's absolutely fine. You're more than welcome to join that if you want to. Hey up, Sarah. Getting excited about this season now. There you go. Looking forward to Saturday. Hopefully the new signings get on and show us what they can do. So speaking of Saturday, for those of you again that missed it, I'm thinking, or I'm going to try my best and do a live stream of the Blades Stuttgart game because I can't go. I've got my girls because wife's out on Lash on a bottomless brunch thing, so she'll be hammered, but she'll be out all afternoon, so it means I can get to watch the game while the girls are keeping themselves entertained with iPads because I'm a bad dad. But I may be late for that for those of you because it's just an experiment for me, just trying to do it. I may be a touch late because I'll be watching the Turtles at 12:20. So I don't know what time that'll finish. I'll go on till I'm darting home and we'll try and get on a live stream for a watch along. Then on Sunday, it looks like that's going to be Prince Abdullah Day for Sheffield United away. So after that interview, whenever it goes up, I'll wait for Nick to edit it down, and then when he schedules it out, we'll go live after that, and we'll piggyback off their interview, which I've spoken to Nick about, and he's fine with. And we'll discuss everything that Prince talks about on there. So he says, "I'm all right with that, Jimmy, just as long as you point him towards watching the video in first place." And you'll have to do because that's all we'll be talking about on live stream. So that's the plan. That's the plan at the minute. Lee says also, as we seem to be looking in Scandinavia, Malmo have listen, I've just got a collection of scouts here. I know it's good to see. Malmo have a 21-year-old attacking midfielder called Seb Nanasi. 9 goals, 4 assists in 16 games. Fits the profile. Sounds like it. I'm sure Anel will know all about him if he plays for Malmo because that's where we got him from in Tip. So I'm sure he's not a stranger to the team, to the management team. Do you think we'll have any more signings before Palace? I'm hearing it's going to be difficult to get anything done before Palace, which is disappointing, Andy, because we're not ready, are we? We're not ready for it. If we could push it back a week, then I think we might be in a much healthier place. But because of where we are in the deals, yes, we're advanced with a couple of them. We're ready to potentially push the button, which will depend on other things, other factors and things like that. But it's one of them things, isn't it, that just might not fall in time, I don't think, unfortunately. I like the look of Brewster today. Looks fit. Yeah, he does. He does. I do too, Stephen. It's like a new signing, isn't it, really? Lavers on the shirt or Ndai back. What would I prefer? Don't be silly. I don't need a shirt sponsor. Get him back. But yeah, because Laver have signed a new sponsorship deal with United, aren't they? As part of one of the stands, I think they're going to be advertised in, not the shirt. Stephen, Sarah were also impressed with Rian. Yeah, absolutely. Was it 20 million cash up front with it's still rich. I've been asked not to share. Don't press me. I try and share what I can with you. I was saying to Nick, Nick were laughing the other day with, Clang, just dropping some names, but he was saying he hates being in the know, if you like. He hates knowing all inside him, because when he goes live or when he's sort of even on a recorded stream, he don't know what he can say and what he can't say. And I'm like, are you mad? I love it. I absolutely love being in the know. So I can't let questions like this, Rich, ruin it for me, because I know you'd all like to be in a similar position. I'm very lucky to be in the position I'm in, very lucky. And I will only share what I'm able to share with you. Or I'll push the boundaries as far as I can, but I'm certainly not going to do anything to jeopardize relationship. I'll get to the second bit, though. Also, if we missed the trick, not going for Giles. We all like Giles. I think he's a good signing for Luton. It'd have been a good signing for us. It's clearly an area where we're weak now, but that's only because Reece is injured. Would I rather have Giles than Reece? No, I probably wouldn't. But we're going to suffer short term for that, aren't we? Because he's still injured. So it's, horses for courses. I'd have preferred Manning to Giles, to be honest. But he's a good signing for Luton, and he'd get in our team at the moment. Ordered your Ramble on cap yesterday. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, that's good. Nice. May spot you rocking that at some stage around the lane. 400 people are in the live. Going to be hard to keep up with all the comments, Jimmy. Look, I'm going to have to call it at some stage, Anna. But when people are taking time to comment and what have you, I like to try and acknowledge everybody because I really appreciate it. Just make sure we're subscribing. That's the thing that's going to grow us the most. It can get us seen by more eyes. If you know somebody that watches but doesn't subscribe, get onto them. I know that most that watch now aren't subscribed, and it really helps. It costs no, but it really does help us grow. Do you think we have any more signings before pallets? I know, Andy, I've just answered that, mate, and you'll put it before I answer the question, but no, I don't think we will, unfortunately. I'd like to be pleasantly surprised. Is the Rambler shirt going to be a bit like the three? Hope so, pal. Hope so. I hope I get that many orders, but, we'll see. I'll be in converted garage before we know it, won't I? Even if I'm only making £1 on them. Do you reckon Brewster will have a decent season? I hope so, John. I hope so. I think we all hope so, don't we? He's a great kid. Some see him as, well, is he a tuber? Is he a one-season wonder with Swansea? And then he's a bit of a bust with us. But because he's a young lad, it's just been so unfortunate with injuries, hasn't he? Don't want Akpom just based on the 8 to 10 million for a 27-year-old. I don't think that's bad, I think we should buy younger. Could only be a one-season wonder. We don't know. Yeah, I know. We have talked about that a little bit. New keeper is now a priority. In the Benny clips, all the keepers look shocking. I don't think Wes were in them clips, though, were he? Think that could be an Achilles heel this season. Need a keeper like Endo. What can get 10 extra points with the team playing badly. I agree, Danny. I think we need to prioritise a keeper. Illiman was also unproven in the Prem. Yeah, he was. I've no doubt he'd have stepped up. And I don't think many of us do doubt that. But your point is valid, pal. Absolutely. Thin on midfield with Fleck. Thin on midfield with Fleck in is what I'd say to that, pal. But I get what you're saying. We do need reinforcements. Hello, mate. How are you? I'm good, thank you, Harry. Hope you are too, pal. Andy, I think you've posted that twice, bud. A new keeper should be a priority for me. Yeah, agree, Hyder. Absolutely, pal. Desperate for Tillman. Obi-Wan. Other than the Plymouth keeper you're going about, who do you see as a direct, immediate replacement for Wes if we end up going for one? Victor Johansson's the other obvious choice for me at Rotherham. He was the standout keeper in the Championship last year. I think it's a no-brainer. I don't think we know Rotherham aren't cash rich. We could offer him a Sula on loan or something like that to get the deal done. Chuck in Adam Davis if you want. I think we need to be considering stuff like that. Trusty looks decent. It's been a problem position since losing Jock. Wouldn't mind Maitland-Niles coming in as well. Hopefully we hang on to Jebbo. Would you still want to hang on to Jebbo, Andy, if it meant Tuba not coming or Tillman not coming? Let me know. I don't think I would, if I'm honest. Do you think that the club have decided that Wes is Premier League quality? If so, we're in real trouble. I don't think they think he's Premier League quality, but in terms of, oh, wow, we've got a great keeper on his hands. But I think they think he's capable and he's earned his chance. I always would argue you can't go with sentiment when it's such a, you know, a vital period in the club's history. I definitely think a keeper. But listen, we're never going to be happy, are we? Because if we didn't get left centre back, that's all we'd have banged on about. Now we know that we're pushing hard for midfielders. We're happy because we're plugging the gaps. Suddenly, goalkeeper becomes a problem. Left wing back will then be a problem because even though we've got 3, the main boy's injured. So, but we're not going to strengthen that because you don't want 4 left wing backs on your books 2 months in, do you? So we're always going to be pushing for more. It's just where do we settle that's reasonable. But having said that, because that's devil's advocate a little bit, I do think we need a new keeper. I do. Any news on Sousa? Hopefully I've cleared that up for you, Miss Mall Polls. Both Brentford and Brighton have proved you don't have to pay big bucks to get good players. Yeah, they have. They have, but they throw millions and millions. They do pay the big bucks into their scouting systems. And is it one of them, I don't know if it's Brighton or Brentford owner, owns like a data business so they can offset all the costs that it would take to set up that sort of thing. It's primed just for plugging into a superb scouting system around the world. So, and location as well helps Brighton. Brentford maybe not so much, but there's a few things. Bournemouth have got location over us, haven't they, in terms of being attractive? Difficult. Jeff, welcome to the Ramblers Club, pal. Thank you so much. Again, it really supports the channel. I can't thank everybody enough that does that. It's very much appreciated and not expected, but it does allow us to grow quicker and get seen by more people. But just subscribing does the trick for us as well. Thank you. Really appreciate it. What's happening with Sousa? Hopefully I've cleared that up a little bit, Bods. So Ramsdale might be allowed an opinion if he's dozing. Sometimes histrionic performances hadn't contributed to her. Yeah, Ramsdale's been a bit vocal, hasn't it? And listen, nobody wishes any ill on Ramsdale. I haven't seen it. I've heard that he's talked about some sensitive issues towards himself. I think nobody wants to see that. And if he's struggled in any way, then I wish him the best. But it still doesn't mean we have to be happy about the way he down tools on us and left us to go get Robin Olsen and forced his way out the door, refusing to play. I think it were unprofessional. And if he's going through an hard time at that point, then I sympathise with him, but it don't mean we have to bow to him, does it? And, you know, I don't agree with it. Looking for the first match day pint. Yeah, I can't wait for the first match day pint. Let's hope we get them 3 points. We need it, Kyle. We need to get off to a good start. 4 home games in first 6. And we're just too light at the minute, aren't we? Just too light. Cooper, Maitland-Niles, Chukwuemeka, Garni, Tillman, Sousa and Akpom to cap off an excellent window. And who'd have thought a window that we sold Illimin, we won't get all those, by the way, but who'd have thought a window that we sell Illimin and Die in, we would even consider to be an excellent window. A generational talent. Unbelievable, innit, really? And I just love the fact that it's, and not because I've got a little bit of an in now, which I'm so fortunate to have, but I love the fact that a minority were so against what we were doing. And all of a sudden, a couple of rumours come in and they're like, oh my God, this is brilliant. Just trust the process. And I know it's not always easy with Blades. And in years gone by, we've been let down. And there's been odd occasion where this owner's taken a misstep or two. And there's no denying that. But let's be right. We haven't gone far wrong, have we? We've gone from mid-table League One. We're now Premier League for the third time in the last 5 years. And a lot of luck along the way. Chris Wilder played a huge part. Ecky's played a huge part. I'm not saying the board and the chairman and the owner are all responsible for that, but everybody plays a part, even Betis, who people hate. And I don't, always get that because, if it weren't for Betis, Wilder would have walked a long time before that. But anyway, we could talk about that all day, and I've plenty of comments to get through an hour in. How much would Tillman be, and is it a strong rumour? I've seen it. I've seen it thrown around. I'm not going to talk about how much at the moment, Middledale, because obviously it's becoming more and more focus on it. And the more focus on it, the less chance we get it done. I'm happy to come out and talk about it if that's permitted afterwards. No problem at all. Justin says we've now signed Trusty. Wouldn't be surprised to see Jackie long throw left wing back until Reece is fit. I think his long throw will be very useful in Prem. Somebody said the same to me today, actually, that Trusty might be a better player, but we will miss out on his long throw. And we would. We would. That's true. Sach Dev, Sachi long throw, has also got a good long throw on him. So when he breaks through, that's something to look forward to our upcoming right wing back. Princey has done for his best for us since day one. He makes mistakes. Who doesn't? Top lad for me. Top lad, Prince Abdullah. Top lad. Yeah, listen, I agree. I think he's done. When we look back, I think he'll be seen as probably the best owner we've ever had. And listen, we've had it's best of a bad bunch in it, really, with that award. But I don't think we can criticise too much, if we're honest. Would still like to see Tommy Doyle back at the lane. As would I, Michael. As would I. There's just preferred targets at the moment over him, if we're honest. We talked about it last time. You know, would you go for Tommy over Sousa? I've not seen enough of Sousa to say yes. We know that Tommy fits into the team. We know he'd be pivotal. He's young. He can impact the team positively, but is he a definite Premier League player? I'm not so sure. So he's proven his time in Championship. He's too good for Championship, in my opinion, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're good enough for Premier League or whatever it might be. So Akpon's had one good season and he's currently injured. Huge. Is he injured, Paul? Is he? Huge gamble, particularly 8 million. Would rather throw 5 to 8 million at Zian Fleming. Well, that won't get his right leg because I think Burnley have been rejected for 15 million for Zian Fleming. Attacking midfielder with 14 goals last season. We won't be going for Fleming, I don't think. As always, Jimmy, brilliant listening and chatting, Blaze. Thank you, pal. Appreciate it. Stuart, one of our long-standing ramblers. Thank you again. Are we in for Akpom? Sorry, late joining. We're talking to him, mate. Yeah, we're talking to him. Is a consideration. Any ideas on how bad Akpom's injury is that he's got at the moment? Not too bad, from what I understand. Still be situations. Robbo will be useful. He'll put his head in and can defend late in games, but Trusty will have the shirt. Agreed? Yeah, I think so too. I think so. There's always the option that I don't like thinking about it really, but you know, somebody was mentioning earlier, will Bash get a game this season? Well, if Anel goes down and you prefer Robinson to Bash, there's the option of moving everybody over to the right one, isn't there? You could move Anel to right centre-back, which you did a couple of times last season, Trusty to the middle, and Jackie long throw. But I don't particularly like it, but it's an option, isn't it? I wouldn't mind Jebo going, because if we do get the targets, there'd be too much talent in front of him. He could thrive at another club. Yeah, that's the only concern, Connor, because what you've got to also balance out is if he's willing to sign a new contract, then we're blocking his path by bringing more strikers in, aren't we? So when do you give the green light for Jebo and Asula to be given a real chance in first team? And that might mean 2, 3, 4 games without them scoring or really getting a sniff in terms of how we're going to be playing. So it's a difficult one. It's a really difficult. I think it'd be an easier decision if we were in Championship because I think Jebo and Asula would be our top 2 potentially. Hi, Jimmy. How much do you think Jebo is worth? 6, 7 mil plus a sell-on. I'd like more, but it's last year of his contract. I think we could get more if he were in a full contract. So, Jimmy, happy with Trusty, Benny and Slimani. Not sold yet on Larouci is the verdict. That's exactly my verdict, Tom. I would say I'm very happy with Trusty, very happy with Benny, and very happy with what I've seen from Slimani. And I'm just lukewarm on Larouci. Tillman for 10 mil beats Akpom for 8 all day long for me. Tillman's going to be a star. I think he's going to be the more difficult one to get, if I'm honest, Obi-Wan. So we'll see. I'm not sold on Jebo, and I don't think Eki is. Yeah, maybe not. He keeps getting minutes, though, doesn't he? Hamer from Cov would tick all the boxes. He would, but it'd be because he's a domestic. I talk about the British tax, and I don't necessarily mean the British players. Obviously, I mean British clubs or English clubs, if you like. They would want 15 million for him, I'm sure. 10, 15 million. And is that more value for money than Sousa? And I don't know that because I haven't seen enough of Sousa. I love Hamer, but you've got to weigh it up, haven't you? Hello, Jimmy. I am well, thank you, Chris. I hope you are too, pal. Chris Revel, it looks like the money from Illy is going on decent prospects. These players could keep us up. Absolutely. And that could be Illy's legacy. I don't think it'll be seen as thank you, Illy, will it? But it'll be, you're right. For me, it reminds me of the David Brooks money. When we sold David Brooks, I don't think anybody really blamed anyone for that. What did we get? 11.5 million, something like that. That brought in John Egan, made us make Ollie Norwood permanent. You know, we got promoted with that money. No doubt about it. We were able to reallocate that brass to go on and become a better squad for it. And I think there's certainly the seeds of that happening here with the Illiman money. Although I have to stress, there was money there to begin with, and that's the key was the desire was to keep Illiman. I don't want anybody thinking now that Illy's gone, brilliant, we can now strengthen where we needed to do. We were going to strengthen anyway, but this has just given us a little bit more freedom, if you like, in terms of options. We definitely need a more creative player, yeah. And the ones we've talked about, Kyle would give us that one too. And I think Slimani is a great option as well in that regard. Any more news on Tommy S? We've talked about that, pal. We've talked about it. He's not our number one option, if you like. He's still on the list, but he's not our number one option. Duvakas is the Czech striker, only 24 and was top scorer with 28 goals in the Eredivisie last season. Yeah, fair dues, then that's top Dutch division, isn't it? So I'm sure he's well known then, if that's the case, but I don't know him personally, Chris. Where's the creativity in midfield? Sander, Slimani's looks decent. On top of that, not much, if I'm honest. I'm not proclaiming that we're massively stacked in that department, because I don't think we are. Hamer, yeah, we like him, Stu. Great recruitment so far, and in Hecky we trust, but we definitely need another striker, a goalkeeper, and some midfield strength. Anyone think Victor Gyökeres is in our budget? Victor Gyökeres has gone to Sporting Lisbon. I think defence is solid enough. If Egan gets injured, stick with five at the back, or would Eki switch to? No, Eki won't switch to a 4. If Egan gets injured and Nell will move inside, I think that's what will happen. 5 signings needed, or 6 if Jebo got. Yeah, probably about right. Maybe even you've got to consider Fleck, can't you, now as well? So maybe more, but I think bringing in another 7 will be too high. Samfield at QPR in last year will be worth a look for midfield. I'm not sold on Samfield, Lee. I know some like him though. Should keeper be a priority? Yes, it should for me. Palmer from City. I like Cole Palmer. Very good player, but popular into a lot of clubs are looking at him. Cole Palmer, again, another shout for him. Souza. For me, Jebo might be a top player in 2 to 3 years. We need top players now. Good sell-on clause and some cash may bring some class in. Yeah, I agree. And just like that, defence looks solid. Correct, Dan. I agree. I'm really happy with it. Mark, we've already said that, haven't we, pal? Ramblers only streams where's numbers, please? yeah, we need, yeah. Parachute payments are only a 2-year thing now, so it wouldn't be bad if we got Souza. The 2 years, if you only last a year in Prem, if you last 2 years, you get 3 years worth of parachute payments. If that makes sense. Buzzing for this season, Jimmy, says Sean. Can't wait to ram it down the throats of some people. Yeah, as long as you don't mean his own fan base, Sean, I'm all for that. If it's for people like Alex Crook on TalkSport, then yeah, we're all together on it. What I don't see any gain in is, you said we were going to be crap and look at you now. I've had a little slide dig at Annie's song in jest today, but that'll be it. I won't be going back because they'll want us to do well as well. Let's be right. We're all blades, aren't we? TalkSport have been talking Bud down again. Are we just an easy target for these presenters not doing enough research? No, we're an obvious target, aren't we? They're right. We're going to be favourites, but I think it's lazy journalism. Great channel, Jimmy, says Gary. Thank you, pal. Signings are excellent. Keep up the great work and keep the wife out of the kitchen. She can go where she likes in our house, pal. I'm always very careful of these. As I say, I'm not going to confirm, Fuzzy. Smell of Palmer. I didn't say we're from City. I said we like different players from City. And one of the players we're looking at is an attacking midfielder, left-footed. Well, I didn't even say midfielder, did I? He's an attacker, sort of midfielder can play forward. Just got a good feeling about Brewster for this season. Fans need to remember we finished 9th with League One with Championship players. None of them were stars. Never say die attitude. Fan support goes a long way. Keep the faith, Blades. Absolutely right. Love that. Get Tuba, can't get more than top scorer in Championship. Love the show. Me and my dad Blades from New Mills for 23 years. Love the Blades. Best presenter. Thanks, Reese. You make me sound a little bit like I'm professional or something. Come on. Talks. Some of these are getting repeated. I don't know whether it's you clicking twice or whether it's just my feed that's not right. But sorry to keep raising the same comments. Under 21s can play until the 23, so maybe he doesn't switch it. Yeah, maybe Dan Larucci. Yeah, maybe so. Will this make them better teams? No, not necessarily. How much can you improve, Terence, on them teams, really? Good show, getting all the information fans want to hear. Doing a great job, Jimmy. Thank you, pal. Thank you. Nice bit of fake grass out back. It's awful, mate. Awful. Needs sorting. If anybody knows any AstroTurfers, I'm not too proud to use my platform to sort of pilfer for AstroTurf fitted. What's crack with Sousa? Hopefully that spilled you in, Bod, because I can see you put your comment down before we spoke about him, I think. So more positive now for the start. Do we know the new captain yet and who's going to get the number 10? We don't know the number 10. We're going to be Illiman. Captain's Eags. That's been confirmed. Oh, my word. TalkSport. Need to give Eki and the lads as much support as possible. Yes, we do. And I think we will now. I think people are coming round. Robbo's a defender first and foremost. He's like Egan, not an attacking defender, but he tries. Evening, Mo. Good evening, pal. Mark Mellors. Top man. Thank you. We'll be in that garage before we know it. No wives to interrupt. No kids coming and knocking on the door. Good show, Jimmy. Getting all the information fans want. Would defo take Akpom. Thanks, Reese. Akor Adams is 23. Don't know who he is. Thank you. Oh, is that the lad you mentioned earlier, Lee? Yeah, fair dues. Quietly confident we're leaving our 2 Prem loans for later in the window, and they're going to be big names we need. I don't know about big names, but because McAtee and Doyle weren't massive names in Championship, were they really? We knew about Doyle, but I think I certainly wouldn't bet against this management team to get what we need. Definitely confident in NL, Egan and Trusty at the back. It's up to others to step it up if we want to stay up. I really think we may have a little gem in Benny T. I think we could. We sell Jebo, we'll be regretting it like Calvert-Lewin. Not if we get a decent fee, I don't think. I think we should keep him in a new contract if possible. Yeah, and I think, Terence, that's definitely in the mix. Definitely. I'm going to have to start zooming through a bit because I don't want to keep everybody on too long. Great channel, Jimmy, says Mark. Thank you, pal. Hi, Jimmy. What do you think about the Akpom report? We've talked about it, Mr. V. We are discussing him. We are in discussion. Not necessarily with him, but, well, yeah, we're talking. He's in the mix. Paul, we are doing great tonight for new members, and it's very much appreciated. It's not, by no means is it expected that people come on and pay to watch what is essentially free free content. But what you do by giving you £3 a month is it all goes towards just bettering ourselves as a channel, more subscriptions, better equipment. It allows me to come on more regularly probably as well, because I feel like I owe you guys for helping me out with doing Ramblers only streams now, and you get in a WhatsApp group with us all where you all get to, you're supposed to be finding out when next Ramble's on, but you all pilfer me for information. So I'll give you little bits every now and again. Go for Brandon Williams, would you stay? All right, okay. Mr. Vancouver, thank you very much for your super chat. Much appreciated. Wow. I'm going to shut it down very shortly because I don't want people thinking I'm just going on just to keep things coming in, because you don't have to do it, but I can't tell you how appreciative I am of it. So Thank you. Hey up, Jimmy, getting over the shock of you know what, yeah, and starting to get the buzz back for this coming season now. Onwards and upwards, absolutely. What's the price for Jebo? What price would you take, Craig? I'd 5-6 million in last year of his contract. Stays from the same place as Reese. Was there not a clause in the embargo malarkey that gave Liverpool an option on a player? Should we get a bid for them? I think it's widely known that was widely. I'm questioning myself now. I think it's Sander. But that's not an irregular deal, Mark. To be fair, that's just if AC Milan come in for Sander and bid 12 million and we accept, we go to Liverpool and we say you can match it if you want because this is what they've bid. Don't make a difference really in a lot of ways. Lee Nichols at Huddersfield. Good shout, Lee. I like Lee Nichols. Will be a decent shout along with Johansson to replace Wes or Davis. I like Lee Nichols. So does Andy the Blade. I'd rather keep Jebo on a 4-year deal than sign Akpom. Yeah, I can see why some people would. It's better for the club. Jebo and Kilman in. Akpom, no. Oh, Tillman, I assume you mean. Because there's Max Kilman, isn't there, at Wolves, who's going for about 30 million euros. Akpom, no, if I had to pick 2 out of the 3. Okay. Takeover news, Jimmy, any closer? We are down to 2 parties, but I'm not going to say any more on it because I don't think it's fair. Sheffield United Way boys are interviewing the Prince, and I think that is where we should go for those sort of stories. That's more club rather than transfer related, isn't it, obviously? So I would ask the question of Nick and Hal, to be honest, and I'm sure that they'll have had loads of questions about that to put to him. So undoubtedly we'll get an answer, I'm sure. With this unpaid transfer fee last season, which was made public, didn't Liverpool have a first? Yeah. It's not Jebo, it's Sander, I believe. Massive thank you, Josh, to you, mate, and welcome. Same, Mo, back again. This is second time you've become a Rambler. So thank you, pal. Appreciate it. Welcome back. You're always welcome. Hyder, one of the first to say we get relegated if we lose Illiman. I feel a lot more confident we can beat the drop now. Absolutely. And it's natural to panic. We lost our best player. We lost our leader in Billy Sharp. Yes, none of us thought it was, or I certainly didn't think he would have been up to Premier League level. But he's a big voice to lose out of the changing room, and you wonder how the team's going to react. So there's a little bit of uncertainty there. You go in knowing we've not got a lot of money, but then we lose Illiman 2 weeks before the start of the season. It's frightening to a degree, but it's looking positive again, isn't it? It's hard not to panic. Susan, thank you so much for your super chat. You're already a member. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Mike, welcome. Thank you. I want to give everybody the same sort of appreciation because I do. I appreciate every single one of you, but I'm running out of words. I just hope you feel like you get the benefit of what we do because you don't have to do this. You, boy, you are unbelievable. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, pal. Really appreciate it. Don't know how much that is. Don't mind if it's a penny. I'm appreciative. Morning from the Philippines, says Michael. Woke up in the middle at night just to ask what your thoughts are on Cameron Arch. Don't rate him. Oh, Cameron who? I think we'll be much stronger now. Illy's gone. Well, yes, Stu. Yeah, we will be stronger as a squad, I think. I think we will. You're never going to be better off without Illiman, are you? But that's not what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Michael agrees with you. How many signings do you think before Palace game? None, if I'm honest. I hope 1, maybe 2, but we're not quite there. Bear in mind, we spent 6 to 8 million on Callum Robinson. Getting Tuba for that in this market is either incredible business now or horrendous business back then. Well said, Ben. Well said. That's true. Happy we're going for a more ambitious route rather than the recruitment of Luton. I think Luton have been, because a lot of people I've seen as well are commenting that they're panicking a little bit about the business Luton are doing. I think Luton have been decent, and I think they've signed some good players who we like. And it's a little bit in the ilk of they're signing a great championship squad. They're putting that together, aren't they? A great championship squad. You've got Giles, you've got players that they've made permanent, they've secured Carlton Morris, all these sort of things. But we were already there. We've got a great championship squad. And listen, we've lost Illiman, but there's loads of little things in there that I think we started in a much stronger place. Obviously, we've got gaps now that we need to fill, and we're doing that, which is why we're getting excited again. But I don't mind the recruitment of Luton, but I think we're going a different way. And I think it's a necessity as well because we haven't got bucket loads of cash, but we're just trying to be smarter with the money. And I like it. I like it a lot. Slash asking if it's Grealish. Oh, you've rumbled me. Yeah, it is. We're after Grealish. Don't tell Prince or anybody that I've... Because once it gets in papers, chances are we're not going to get him. So you think Robbo and Fleck and Ozzy got deals because Eki wasn't sure of the budget? No, I don't think he wasn't sure of the... I know he knew the budget. He knew the budget. But the plan was to keep Illiman, and then we don't have as much to spend. So you'd rather have bodies that you know and rely on, and then you don't have to add as many bodies so you can focus more on quality, if that makes sense. That, I think, was the thought process. But obviously, Illiman's gone. We've got more money. So we can now up the quality level across the squad. I think that's what's happened, basically. Anne says I'm the best non-professional then. Best non-professional presenter. Thanks, Anne. I'll take that. I'll take that. How unrealistic is Cole Palmer? As I heard this rumour as well from many sources. I like Cole. I haven't seen enough of Cole Palmer, but he's rated very highly into it. Last I heard about Cole Palmer, Brighton were in the mix for him. And if Brighton are in, we're not. So whether he's one we're considering, I'm not sure. Or I wouldn't be able to confirm if we were. And Burnley, I think, were mentioned as well. Not that I think they're more attractive, but I think Company's got a big pull, ante, particularly for City. Josh would like Akpom, to be honest. We need a striker ASAP, one that improves the front line and walks straight in. Yeah, because Jebo don't walk in, does he? He might do at minute because him and Asula are only fit forwards. But anyway, Chris says, don't be worried about repeating messages, mate. If it's your phone, I'm glad it's your phone, to be honest, and not my feed. So don't worry about that. It's no problem. Turtles in concert. Well, now I'm going to watch Turtles tomorrow, which means I might be late for watch along. I won't be late, but I'll be cutting it fine. It's only a little trial run, so don't feel like you have to definitely join me. I just want to see how it goes, really. You're more than welcome. I'm not saying don't, but yeah, we're just going to see how it goes. Had to be Egan. In terms of captain, but I would have loved Baldock. Yeah, me too. I think you'd have upset Egan, though, in being vice captain at club. Happy to have 10 Baldocks with Wes in goal. You're on my wavelength there, Obi-Wan. Get Baldock cloning machine made. Absolutely right. I think he's fantastic. And for me, he's got to be vice captain this season. He's got to be standing when Egan's not available. Hopefully, Egan's there all season. But great content, says the JD. Yeah, thank you, pal. Seen rumours Tillman's commented on the Trusty announcement on Instagram. Unsure if 100% true. Well, they're both USA internationals, aren't they? So hopefully a link. Love that. Josh, new member and now super chatting. Thank you, pal. You don't have to do this. I'm very appreciative of everybody that's giving tonight. And it's a little bit overwhelming, to be honest, because it's free content. I do this for free. I'm not earning anything out of it, and everything does go straight back into the channel. But I appreciate everybody's support because it just means we can move so much quicker and get to where we want to be. You can't rest and end the stream with over 400 people here. Smash that like button, Blades. Yes, Steve. Smash that subscribe for those of you that aren't subscribed. Everybody commenting will be, because I've put that special thing on where you have to be a subscriber to comment. So there you go. Paul's asking, who's this Illiman? Don't know. Oh, yeah, we've got another one there. Same one repeating, I think. Craig, Miss Kelly. Wow. What? Listen, I'll do a special request if you're chucking that sort of money around. Thank you so much, pal. You don't need to do this. We're here to talk about the Blades. I love that you help us out, but you don't have to start chucking us money. It's like that because it's very, very generous. Wow. Wow. Caplock. Don't know about any of the new boys, but with Norwood out and no Doyle, we need a new set piece taker. Have you seen Slimani? Slimani looks decent to me. Let's give him a go. Toby, welcome. Welcome. Oh my God. I'm retiring. I'm going full time on YouTube. Thank you, Toby. Much appreciated, pal. Welcome. You're always welcome here. Everybody is. Great live again, Jimmy Pal. Any clue what sort of wages Akpom would demand? Would we be able to pay higher wages now due to extra money in the pot? It won't be. It'll fit into our budget. He'll be on championship wages now. Probably not that great, to be honest, because it came before his big run of form. So we'll be able to pay him reasonable Premier League wages with the reduction in as well. It wouldn't be United if it was all easy. No, it wouldn't, Chris. You're right, pal. We'll all be moaning about VAR in a fortnight. He'll have been forgotten. You're absolutely right. Paul says, join the forum all and hit the like. Yeah, we've got a forum, which is proving very popular to those that have visited so far. It might not be everybody's cup of tea, but we've got some really interesting discussion points on there. Paul I was going to say he helps me run it, but if I'm being honest, Paul runs it and I just dip in where I can to add bits of content. He's the tech master. But yeah, we've got different topics on there and talking points. You're more than welcome to join if you just want to carry on talking about United like we all do. I think the latest one that I've done is just fan chants for new players and just trying to sort of, does anybody have any daft songs for new players? And I've put, I don't know if anybody can remember, American Boy by Estelle and Kanye West. So I've done a little chant that we could potentially see. We're not gonna, it's all for a laugh really, but there's a one for Trusty that's to American Boy. So I liked it. I thought it was funny. It made me laugh, and that's all I'm bothered about. Hopefully it makes a couple of you giggle as well, but we'll see. Now you're just missing me on purpose, Scott. Oh, welcome, Scott. And I'm calling you out in front of all my fellow ramblers and everybody else watching and that's subscribed. Scott, who fact checked me with Darren Smith. Anything to say on that, Scott? Darren, is it true what Jimmy says about this? Is it true that we're in for Sousa? Is it true that we're doing it? Don't believe me, do you, Scott? Don't believe me, pal? Unbelievable. I thought we were mates. And you know I'm only messing, pal. Know anything about the sponsor on the shirt? No, I don't, Mark. I know it's been agreed. I know it's sorted, but I don't know who it is. Darren knows. I haven't asked Darren, so I'm sure he'd tell me if I asked, but I don't think it's one that we'd reveal without the club's permission, for obvious reasons. It's done, and it'll come out soon. Love you too, Harry. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Me, myself, and I looked for you on YouTube. Couldn't see anything. I may not have been looking in the right place, but I did search your name after you said you had a channel. So you were going to change your name, weren't you? We don't care about Indai. He don't care about me. All we care about is Ben Traore. I don't like the we don't care about ones. We don't care about Wednesday would do. Something like that. They don't care about me. Maybe. I don't know. Told my daughter, Romy, to hit the subscribe button. Hope she has. And I hope I've said Romy right. Thank you, Romy, and welcome. You've got a good father there teaching you the ways. Heard that rumor on the Messi Osborne swap deal. Yeah, it's coming. Yasser Larucci to yes sit. Yes, sir, I can boogie. Started off in pot. Yes, it did. And I nicked that fan video to put that on my shorts as well for the first one of the music things. And I need a certain song. Yeah, it's class. Absolute class, that. Love it. And that will be sung on terraces. Shame about Lee Ty. Saved the Blades well. Yeah, it's been done for some. Yeah, Lee Ty's been done for some of the Blades of a similar age to me. You might remember him and older. It's not against Illy, it just fits the chant. I know it, and you're a big Illy fan, aren't you, clearly? But yeah, no problem. Palace, Fulham, West Ham, Wolves have all lost key players. The Prem is more open than many realise. Absolutely. Wolves look very weak. Palace have lost some big players. I'm just so disappointed. We're going to be weak also going into that game because it's a huge chance. I asked once, you spoon. Listen, I know what my mates are. Which youngsters do you see sticking around? For me, it's Jebison, Asula, Brooks, and I think that's it for me. Ideally, I would have been none, and all would have been. I lean more to that middle deal. I'd like them all out on loan. You don't want to see yourself short, but you also don't want to stunt the development by just giving them odd 5 minutes here and there. I'll caveat that though with there's 9 subs in there in Prem, so you've got to have 9 on your bench. You can bring 5 on, so I think maybe them 3 would stay. Yeah. Trusty anal process. Wow. We're a PG channel, I'll have you know. So bye, Illiman and I. Took the ferry to Marseille, but we won't cry. Because we got Jebo, Osula and McBurney up high. And Traore just scored. It's onside. Singing We Are Sheffield United till we die. It's a bit clunky, Dan, but maybe that's just because of the way I sung it, because I'm no singer, as you've probably noticed. But yeah, keep them coming. And if we like them collectively, then I'll make a video of it with that tune to the background and just for a laugh. Sitting watching live from Northern Ireland and the kids heading to the match this Saturday. It's the first Blades match. Brilliant. Could you give a shout out to Braxton and Araya? Absolutely, I can. I've never been asked to give a shout out before, so it's so weird. But Lee, yes, Braxton and Araya, first Blades game. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Your dad's doing you a great job there. 2 young Blades. Welcome to the Blades family. And I hope your dad protects you in the short term in terms of the ups and downs. And when you're old enough, you take it as well as we do. Not like it having a good football following. Ain't nobody. Austin Trusty. Makes me happy. Makes me feel this way. I prefer my American boy. I've got to be honest. You'll have to go see it. Darren Smith is magic. He wears a Saba's hat. And if you post a secret, he'll scream and give him flack. Yes. Yes, Chris. I'm making that and I'm sending it to Darren. Absolutely, I am. Agreed, Craig. Love an L, my favourite player. Trusty hopefully can be the left side of the L. Absolutely. I'm really happy with 3. With back 3. I can't say any other. I love Slimani already and think he'll be massive. Hoping Benny is the future element. The different players. But yeah, I'm very hopeful too. Scott, that wasn't peer pressure for that. I was jesting with you, pal. I can see you next. Happy now? I'm very happy, thank you. Listen, mate, you don't have to do that just to say sorry, because you, like Darren said, you are the most polite man online. I just can't believe you didn't trust me with what I was telling you. If you have to fact check me, that's, you know. Look how you've come, pal. 200 to canoe or something, lol. Ah, yes. That was the canoe to 2. When I first started on YouTube, because I'm sure a lot of you weren't here for the ride. I know Rhodesy was, and I'm not sure whether Craig was as well, but clearly must have been. I just did. It won't surprise you this at all. Used to do a lot of stupid stuff just to keep us entertained and sort of hit little milestones. We did the canoe to 2. That was to get to 200 subscribers. We climbed the tree to 3, and I'd do little videos and daft music. What else did we do? We did open the door to 400, and there were a door opening with 400 subscribers that came out. There was diving to 5. Somebody off a diving board diving into a 500. And then we got really stupid and did Boris Johnson dancing to Let's Talk About 6. So let's talk about 6, baby. Oh my God. Some of these things were just ridiculous, but so much fun. I want to dance with Slimani. Yes, we've got that on shorts, Anne. Love that. William says we're doing a great job. Thank you, pal. Really appreciate your support. everybody that subscribes, and just, you don't have to be a Rambler. You don't have to give us a super chat. You don't have to do anything. Just by being here, subscribing to the channel, having a laugh with us all together. I love it. Absolutely love it. I hope Prince doesn't mind me not wanting to waste my season ticket for Palace game, but I can't make it as I already booked Newquay with the missus. Can you pick a Rambler at random, Jimmy? Do you know, Rhodesy mentioned this to me, and I can only apologise, mate, because I completely forgot we'd agreed to do this. And he didn't want to be named, but because I've forgotten, and it's all my fault. Rhodesy can't make the Palace game, and he wants one of our Ramblers to benefit. And I really appreciate that from him. So very kind of you, Rhodesy. If anybody has got his left short for game, really, or has got a great reason why they'd want his ticket, please let us know. You can contact me or Rhodesy and let us know, and we'll get that sorted for you. A little bit naughty in terms of the club. That's why he says, oh, Prince, don't mind, but I'm sure one ticket to somebody who's in need will be appreciated. Thanks so much, mate. You've made their night. No problem. No problem. Any more new blades are always welcome. Where's the American boy chant? It's on shorts of this channel, Mark. So I've got some shorts that I've just started messing about with, really. Me and Hope, who's going to be joining us as well again shortly when she's got over a nightmare week, 10 days. I'll become a member if you answer my question on David Brooks. What's your question on David Brooks? Sorry, mate. I've had to skip over a few, as you're probably aware. Listen, I'm not doing this so you become a member. You don't have to become a member. I'll answer anything you want about David Brooks. If it's, are we interested in him? He's not been mentioned. If it's, would I like David Brooks back? This sounds awful, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but after you've had such a terrible time of it, let's be right, we all know what's happened to David Brooks. But firstly, I'm not sure he'll be able to play to the same levels. I think he struggled to get back to the same levels after he had glandular fever. And secondly, if he does get anywhere near those levels, we won't get him out of Bournemouth, because the potential the kid has is unreal. And I hope he does go on to reach that potential, because he's a great kid, did great for us. The money that we got for him were really beneficial for the club. So I wish him all the best, but I don't think we're going to be anywhere near him. But you don't have to become a member for that, pal, particularly for me missing your comment. So don't worry about it. And sorry I missed it. I do try and get on where I can. What's your app group? Will be mess with me. If you go onto the private page, mate, you'll see my number. Send me a message and I'll add you to the group. No problem. I really hope we get the player chants going this season. Well, this is what it's like, Middledale. So we don't have many chants. Me and my dad always say, actually, some of our chants that we do have that we go back to time and time again are pretty rubbish, if we're honest. So if we can get some more, listen, even if we get one, like the Sander Berger song that went balmy, and it's brilliant, if we get one of them that comes out of this daft group that we're chucking random songs into, it's been worthwhile, and it's a good crack anyway, even if we don't. And yeah, you've mentioned Sander one there. Sorry, I didn't get to that. What are you buying if we lose to Palace? Another caravan? Yeah, for those that weren't there, I struggle when we lose. I struggle to get over it and move past it. Ended up buying a caravan last time when we were in a bad spell, just to make myself feel better. But I'm still paying for that now. You can become a member of my caravan channel if you want. I ain't got one. I'm joking. But Lee, again, thank you. Really appreciate it. I'm not going to say don't become a member, obviously, to everybody, but please don't feel like you have to. Listen, I'm not shouting out your kids so that you become a member, but I really appreciate that support. And yeah, I hope they have a fantastic time at Lane. I'm sure they will. Friendly's probably a good bet, isn't it? Because it doesn't really matter about result. Go on, Scotty. Think we need to invest in a scouting network? I'm here. If we're taking over at Brighton Model, spot on, and hopefully get to Cat One Academy. Yeah, these are longer term things, aren't they? I think our scouting network's improved tenfold, to be honest, since last time we were here. Particularly now we're going to use it. Wilder didn't really use it a lot, if we're honest. He preferred to utilise his own contacts. It's my birthday on the City game, and I'm trying to decide how much I should let it ruin my 30th. If you accept the result before you even go, then you're going to have a good time regardless, aren't you, Tommy? And I wish you all the best, mate. I hope you have a good birthday. Top class from Dave. It is, yeah. Rhodesy giving out his ticket. So if anybody wants it, as I say, get in touch with me or Rhodesy. Yasser runs down the wing for Sheffield United. That's the Ender song, isn't it? So we're using the Yasser Larouche that they sang in Portugal. I think is class for me again, but keep them coming. If we had to choose out of Tillman and Akpom, who would you go? I'd go for Tillman, I think. Just seen, but I've only seen his highlights, whereas I know Akpom more. I think Akpom's more of a risk in terms of his consistency, but he had a full season doing it last year. Tillman, only 21. Yeah. Much better chance of a higher return. What's the reason for the delay in the possible Zwanzebe transfer? If it's based on a decision on if it based on our decision on Zwanzebe, I think it's medical, and I'm not convinced how much is needed now. If I'm honest, it might be. I think he'll probably be considered a little bit later on. We'll have more time to work with him in terms of his medical because he's had a shocking injury history, and yeah, I think it'll be a sensible move for us to wait a little bit to see how it goes. We also need to know if we've got the funds, that we're not overstretching ourselves by offering him a deal too early on, because we don't want to have another backup centre-back. Because I think it'd be great to back up Egan, which then has all three cover, Jack Robinson, Bash and Zwanzebe. But I think he could also cover right centre-back. In fact, he could cover all three, but I don't think it's as needed now that Trusty's come in. Custard creams are cheaper if we lose. Yeah, get him in. I'll cart him in, Susan. If we lose, it ruins my weekend, especially if I've got work after. Absolutely, mate. I can't get over it. I'm bad for it. You probably will see that. I've been quite positive, and those of you that are fairly new will just see me talking. We have positive view of things, but as the season goes on, that may change. Who would your ideal front two for Palace be, Jimmy Cameron? No, I think for Palace, there isn't an ideal two, is there? I think McBurney will start. I'd like to see Traore, but I couldn't honestly tell you whether Traore is better than Willisula at the minute. So I'd struggle. Trusty is our American blade. He came from Arsenal. He's from the USA. He hates the Wednesday. What song's that to Harry? You'll have to let me know, mate. We've got the commas. Yeah, I can't do it without the commas. Ipswich in talks with Zwanzebe. Yeah, shame that, because I'd like Zwanzebe. I think he's good for the future as well if we can get him fit. Don't think a right centre-back is desperate. However, I wouldn't be comfortable with Basham starting as bad as it sounds. No, it doesn't sound bad. I think it's right. Shout out Danny Wilson. Right. This is the last comment, so I'm going to wrap it up here because I finally made it to the bottom. Sorry for skipping over some comments to get here, but we'd have been here all night. Oh, no. Surely there's a barber on here that can offer their services. Think this channel's sending you great. Wow. I'd rather have somebody that can do AstroTurf and garage conversions, or give us a cheap garden office that I can stick along back there. If we're pilfering. Last two to Ramblers. Thanks, mate. I watch all the time. Big fan of the show. Thank you, mate. I'm a big fan of all our Ramblers as well, so thank you, pal. Same as you, Jimmy says, Stu, lose, and I have to paddle in the med to fix. Oh, cry me a river, Stu. Here he is again. We can't go one stream we are, Stu, letting us know that he lives in foreign climes and bloody living it up. So thanks, Stu. Right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you so much to all our new members, Ramblers. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the donation. Absolutely unbelievable. I don't deserve it, even though you enjoy the content. I really appreciate it. The one thing you can do for us is subscribe, because it's free, and get other people to subscribe as well. And we will get bigger and bigger and bigger. And you guys will have been here from the very beginning. And I really appreciate it. We'll always try new things, and we're trying to develop things. Just a reminder that I'm going to try and get to a watch along on Saturday. For those of you that have joined late, on Saturday, my wife's on a bottomless brunch. So I've got the girls, which is why I can't go to the Stuttgart game. And I'm also going to the cinema to watch the Turtles at 12:20, because my wife booked it, because you need to go out and do something nice with the girls. Kick off at 3:00, love. So I'm cutting it fine for Stuttgart. I'm going to try a watch along. It's a trial. So come and watch me fumble my way through that. And if that goes completely wrong, then we'll be off. We won't be doing any away game watch alongs like is currently the plan. Then on Sunday, make sure you watch, and I know we all will, but make sure you all watch Sheffield United Way's interview with the Prince. That will undoubtedly be very newsworthy. And we're going to go live after that, which Nick's okay with, as long as I make sure I point you in that direction. So make sure we watch the Prince's interview like we all will do, and we'll go live afterwards to talk about it. So have a fantastic weekend, everybody. I'm not planning on coming on Friday, but tomorrow night, but who knows? You know, when we sign Messi from Miami, then I might have to jump on for a last minute. We'll see. Thanks, everybody. Very much appreciated. See you all soon. Come on, you red and white wizards. Up